Hey everyone, AMD reported second quarter 2024 financial results that sent the stock price higher. Investors were encouraged that AMD is finally making progress in the AI GPU market that NVIDIA dominates. So in this video, I'll review AMD's latest figures that all investors should know about, and I'll also update my buy recommendation for AMD stock. Remember, heading into the quarterly earnings release, I had recommended buying AMD stock. I've also had AMD stock rated as one of my top stocks to buy all year long, and I'll update that recommendation for you here today. So let's get right into it.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.
So AMD saying that their AI business continued accelerating and we are well positioned to deliver strong revenue growth in the second half of the year, led by demand for Instinct, EPYC, and Ryzen processors. And in the previous quarter, AMD's growth in the AI business was roughly 80%. And in the current quarter, that rate of growth accelerated. And AMD's management is saying that it's going to continue accelerating for the rest of the year. This is precisely what AMD stock investors wanted to hear. They wanted to hear that their new products for artificial intelligence are gaining traction and growing and taking some market share in this market that NVIDIA frankly dominates, and AMD will be lucky to take a firm second place with a greater than 10% market share. They go on to say that AMD executed well in the second quarter with revenue above the midpoint of our guidance. We expanded gross profit margin and delivered solid earnings growth while increasing our strategic AI investments to build the foundation for future growth. In other words, the company's performance was better than they thought it was going to be. And that happened even though they are investing and spending money on building out their capabilities for the future. So while they're investing in the future, they're still delivering rising gross profit margin and rising profitability for investors. That's great to hear. Overall, revenue increased by 9% from the same quarter the prior year, up to $5.835 billion. And that was up from a roughly 2% growth in the previous quarter. So AMD's revenue growth rate is accelerating, even though it's significantly below that of NVIDIA. And that's primarily because AMD has several business segments, and two of their business segments are thriving and the other two business segments are declining. So the declining segments are offsetting the robust AI segment that is indeed thriving. Now, this increase in revenue increased its gross profit margin as well by 3 percentage points up to 49, and net income jumped by 881% to $265 million, up from $27 million in the same quarter the prior year. So AMD finally delivering the kind of revenue and profit growth that compares with NVIDIA, at least on the bottom line, not yet in terms of the top line. Speaking about those segments I highlighted earlier, the data center segment, this is the segment where companies like Alphabet, Microsoft, Amazon, Apple, Meta platforms, etc. are investing aggressively. That's creating this AI boom. And this is the segment that AMD stock investors wanted it to participate more robustly, and indeed they did. Revenue in this segment was up by 115% year over year, up to $2.8 billion. This is driven by a steep ramp of AMD Instinct GPU shipments and strong growth in 4th gen AMD EPYC CPU sales. Now, this Instinct GPU, the MI300X, is the newest product in AMD's lineup, and management has said this is the most successful product launch in the company's history. I wanted to see the momentum continue for this product in the current quarter, as that ramped up starting in the previous quarter. Management saying this will continue throughout the year, and this is exactly what AMD stock investors wanted to hear. Now, this AMD Instinct GPU is not going to compete with NVIDIA for winning market share. It's not going to be up there. NVIDIA has over 80% market share. NVIDIA's ecosystem is much stronger than AMD's, so the GPU alone will not be enough to convince enterprises to give AMD the priority over NVIDIA. Still, it gives AMD a chance to take some market share away from NVIDIA due to the fact that customers will want to diversify away from NVIDIA just to reduce their risk. They don't want to be completely exposed to NVIDIA just in case NVIDIA starts to raise prices too much, or if NVIDIA becomes supply constrained, they want to have another option. And if AMD can have a viable product to be that second option, that's really the lane it has an opportunity in. And if it can execute, it can really capture that market share from businesses that want to diversify. That's the big opportunity ahead for NVIDIA in the AI market. Additionally, AMD investors were encouraged to hear that the company's roadmap of new products is coming along just fine. The roadmap includes new AMD Instinct MI325X accelerator, which is planned to be available in the fourth quarter of 2024. And this product has leadership memory capacity and compute performance. So NVIDIA as well has launched a robust product roadmap. They're launching their Blackwell technology as we speak, and they already have the next generation Rubin technology lined up and ready to go next year. NVIDIA has said they plan to launch innovations on a 1-year schedule. So every year they plan to have an update to their GPUs. AMD is also trying to match that product roadmap, going on the cadence of 1 year, bringing annual updates to their GPUs. And this is also good news for AMD investors, as customers that purchase AMD's GPUs will want to know that the company is continuously improving, so they can continue sticking with AMD and capturing performance improvements as AMD improves its technology. Looking ahead, AMD is guiding to revenue of growth at 16% and non-GAAP gross profit margins of approximately 53.5%. At the midpoint, this growth of 16% would be an acceleration from the 9% in the current quarter, and then it was 2% prior to that. So you're going from 2% growth to 19% growth to 16% growth, and that's precisely the acceleration investors want to see out of AMD. Furthermore, the company is forecasting an increase to their gross profit margin from 53% in the current quarter non-GAAP to 53.5% non-GAAP. So that signals that there is organic demand for AMD's product. They're not lowering prices or offering incentives that's hurting the company's profitability in order to accelerate sales. This acceleration in sales is coming on the back of successful research and development to launch a product that's viable in the marketplace. So understandably, investors were happy with this news. AMD stock price was up following their earnings announcement, and it's up now 4% on the day following the release. AMD stock is now trading at a forward price to earnings ratio of 26.35, which I think is a good price for AMD stock given its prospects, given the market opportunity. I highlighted earlier that I had recommended AMD stock as a buy, and it's been on my list of top 25 stocks to buy all year long. I last updated that recommendation on July 1st, and given the company's performance in the current quarter, I'm keeping AMD stock rated as one of my top stocks to buy right now. Did you know that over 90% of the people that watch my channel are not subscribed? It'll really help support my channel if you hit that subscribe button. And oh, by the way, one of the benefits of being subscribed is that I take requests from subscribers more often than I do from non-subscribers. So if you prefer that benefit, please subscribe to the channel.